Welcome to TKT course by Teacher Teresa, Module 1, Part 3, Background to Language Teaching, Unit 16, Presentation Techniques and Introductory Activities. Presentation Techniques in Practice. Presentation Techniques in Practice. Check the presentation stages, the stages that are highlighted in these two lessons for lower-level secondary learners. How are they different, and how do they present the new language item? Presentation, Practice and Production, PPP lesson. Aim. For students to learn how to use some and any in positive sentences, negatives, questions, and offers or requests. Procedure. 1. Ask students what grocery items they usually buy at a grocery store. 2. Stick magazine pictures of different grocery items on the board. 3. Ask students the names of the grocery items and write the words under the pictures. 4. Say to students, I'm going to the grocery store. I'd like some apples, some bread, and some milk. I don't want any cheese. Do you want any eggs? 5. Say, I'd like some apples, I don't want any cheese. Do you want any eggs, etc., and ask students to repeat each sentence chorally. 6. Explain that some is used in positive sentences and offers or requests, and any is used in negative sentences and questions. 7. Ask students some concept questions. Example, which sentences on the board are positive, negative, or questions? Which sentences use some? Which sentences use any? 8. Give students a gap-fill exercise, where they complete sentences with some or any. 9. Students work in pairs with a worksheet of pictures of grocery items. One student is the customer and says what they want, and the other student is the shopkeeper and answers. Students take notes, then swap roles. Task-based learning, TBL lesson. Aim. For students to choose grocery items for their family within a budget. Procedure. 1. Have a short discussion with students about grocery shopping. When they go, what they buy, what items they like, and what they often run out of at home. 2. Put students into small groups, and give each group a worksheet with pictures, names, and prices of grocery items. 3. Tell students to do this task. Choose the grocery items they would like to buy for their family for a week, keeping within a budget, example, $15. 4. While students are doing the task, the teacher walks around the class, listens, and answers any questions. 5. Each group tells the class what they decided to buy. 6. Students ask the teacher questions about any language they needed for the task, or the teacher tells students about any language she noticed they didn't know as they were doing the task, example, the pronunciation of some words, when to use some and any. 7. Students write a note to their parents, saying what grocery items they would like to buy, using some and any. These lesson plans show two different common ways of presenting new language, with several differences in how they do it. Presentation Practice and Production, PPP lesson. Language is a clear aim and focus of the lesson. The teacher first puts the target language into a situation which shows what it means. Example, shopping for groceries, a situational presentation, step 1. The teacher then checks that students remember the names of common grocery items by eliciting them, that is, asking students to say the words, rather than giving them directly, steps 2, 3. The teacher next models sentences with some, and any, in context while students just listen, step 4. Students then repeat these sentences in a choral drill, which is a very controlled practice activity where they only use the target language without mistakes, step 5. The teacher explains the grammatical use of some, and any, step 6. The teacher asks concept questions to check learners' understanding of the meaning and use of target language. Example, which sentences are positive? Which are negative? Which are questions? Which use some? Which use any? Step 7. Students then complete a gap-fill exercise, which is a controlled practice activity focusing on form, step 8. Next, they do further practice, focusing on meaning, step 9. At the presentation stage of a PPP lesson, steps 4 to 7, the teacher first sets up a context that shows meaning, then models the target language for students to repeat, before highlighting its form and use, through drills and concept questions. The lesson then moves on to controlled and freer practice activities. Task-based learning, TBL lesson. The aim of the lesson is for students to complete a task. The teacher begins by contextualizing the topic, to show its meaning. Step 1. The teacher gives students task to do. Step 3. While students are carrying out the task, the teacher monitors, listens, and offers help if needed. Step 4. After completing the task, each group reports back to the class on what they decided to buy. Step 5. The teacher and students then discuss any language that was needed during the task, such as the pronunciation of words or the correct use of some, and any. Step 6. Finally, students consolidate the language by writing a note to their parents about what grocery items they would like to buy. Step 7. In a TBL lesson, the presentation of new language, step 6, comes after students have already used it, allowing them to focus on meaning first, before learning the form. The PPP approach to teaching new language focuses on both the meaning or use, and the form, of the language. It gives students a chance to practice in a safe learning environment, where there is little chance of making mistakes. This can help students feel more confident. But they might have to learn things they aren't interested in, or ready for, and they have limited opportunities to use the language in real communication. The TBL approach, however, encourages students to discover language when they need it, and use it creatively in real-life situations. This is similar to how children acquire their first language. Some learners find this approach exciting and challenging, while others may want more guidance and clear instructions. There are several ways of presenting new language besides PPP and TBL. One method is guided discovery, where students first encounter the language in a reading or listening text and try to figure out its meaning and use for themselves. After this, the teacher can present the language formally, clarifying and highlighting its meaning, use, and form. Language can also be introduced during an oral discussion or task, such as when students are talking about a topic or working on a project. Another approach is test, teach, test, where students first try a task using the target language. If they struggle, the teacher presents and explains the language and then gives them another task to practice it. All presentation techniques place the target language in a meaningful context, a process known as contextualization. Teachers can create this context by using situations, reading or listening texts, tasks, explanations, real objects, realia, pictures, mime, or a combination of these. Understanding meaning is essential when learning a new language, and contextualization supports learners in this process. Although all techniques focus on meaning, they do not give the same level of attention to form. For example, approaches such as PPP and guided discovery highlight both meaning and form, whereas TBL focuses mainly on meaning. The degree to which teachers emphasize form depends on their beliefs about language learning, their preferred teaching style, and the age and needs of their learners. Thank you.